Good morning, brothers and sisters. Today we are talking about finances in the matching process, money. Now, I know that finances is a very touchy topic and it's very triggering for a lot of people, which I have experienced firsthand, which is why I do not talk about finance a lot, but this is really important. Why? Number one, because it is a very, very high concern for a lot of people that are entering the matching process and the blessing. And I want to kind of dispel some myths and hopefully break some beliefs and give you some optimism, right? And actually have conviction as to where you're going in your life. But also, this thought process was sparked by a conversation I had with a fine young man who is currently in a matching process, and he came to me for some mentoring, some guidance about how to manage finances and prepare to be in a relationship. All right. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing three kind of mental frameworks that you can use when you're thinking about finances that hopefully will be liberating for you. And I want to give you guys the peace of mind, right? That I know that if you ask yourself deep down, right, being the capable person that you are, that works hard, that is pretty smart, I'm pretty sure, like, even if I don't know you, I can almost guarantee that you'll be okay. You will, right? You will not be homeless. You will not struggle financially. You will not be in a situation where you have an unfavorable lifestyle where you won't be able to provide for your family, okay? Now, big caveat here. I'm going to be speaking primarily to people in America, because I know that when I speak in general terms about finances, people are usually like, what about this person? Or what about this situation? Because I know that most of the listeners for the MatchNet podcast in this community are in America. And also, speaking from my own experience, I'm going to put that giant disclaimer here that I'm going to be using US terminology and assuming that you are a capable person and you're able to work hard. All right. Okay. So with that said, with that out of the way, here are the three objectives that you can think about finance. All right. Number one, a big question that people have is how financially literate or stable do I need to be in order to be blessed, in order to be in a healthy relationship? I have a very, very simple answer for that I think you guys will like, which is if you are able to save $3,000 in cash, you are in good standing. All right. $3,000 in cash. Why $3,000? Number one, because most people in America are not able to save even $500 to pay for an expense that comes up, all right? So if you can manage to save $3,000, my friends, that means you are in good standing and you are above average in terms of your ability to make money and to be able to save money, okay? So assuming that you can make $3,000, what does that mean in terms of your financial stability and your abilities? It means that number one, you can save money, which is good. It means that you can prioritize saving money as opposed to spending it currently. It means that you're able to invest in something into the future, which are all qualities and character traits of someone that will succeed financially, right? And also importantly, $3,000 happens to be how much is required in order to receive the blessing, right? So let's say, for example, you go to Korea, you pay for your airfare to go to Korea, you have the blessing offering, and all the expenses associated with that. It's around $3,000 give and take, right? So if you can save $3,000, you're good. Like you're good, you're in good standings. And that's like the baseline that you can work with, right? So keep that in mind. It's like your goal is, if you're in a matching process or preparing for matching, or you're concerned about finances in the future, I understand. I've totally been there, guys, but take this from someone that's been through all of that and weathered all of the ups and downs of life and raising kids and being married. If you can save $3,000 cash, you're good. You're in good hands, right? So the next question is, how easy is it to make $3,000, especially in America? So this is the second kind of mental framework to work with. When I was talking with this guy, he was kind of concerned about, like, will I be able to financially provide for a family, right? And so I kind of shared with him what my worst case scenario is. And I want you to think about this. When you're going into career, when you're going into a job or going into swinging big and starting a business or a new venture, whatever it is, if you always have a safety net of what is the worst case scenario if nothing works out, right? And for me, it has always been, if nothing works out in life, I can always drive Uber and make a full-time income and provide for my family and have enough time to spend with my family. In America, it is reasonable to make a good living driving Uber. That's just as an example, driving Uber. And the reason that I like the idea of driving Uber as like a worst case scenario is because tomorrow you could get certified to drive Uber, like tomorrow, right? And what you can do while you're driving Uber is you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to audiobooks and learn a bunch of stuff while you're driving. So it's kind of like, I always thought of like, it's a temporary thing. Like if I really, really needed to, I could just drive Uber. And that's not bad. Like my point is, it's not the worst thing in the world. The worst case scenario is actually not that bad, because you just drive around, make a good living for your family, and you can listen to stuff and learn stuff, right? You want to start a business, you can listen to podcasts or audiobooks about that. You want to work on your mindset, listen to audiobooks or podcasts about that. You want to learn anything, any skill at all. You want to learn how to program, you want to learn how to whatever, you can learn all of that while you're driving, right? So I'm not saying like everyone should go out and start an Uber. I'm just saying like for me, in my experience, it was always the back of my mind. Like if nothing works out, it can always drive Uber, right? So it's allowed me to free up my mind and my peace of mind to give me the mental liberation of, hey, I can swing big. I can swing for the fences and go big. And I know that I will always be able to provide for my family because I can always do that. Or if it's not Uber, it's like, it's anything else. Like this is America we're talking about, right? And you can, if you're not in America, you can extrapolate this to any country that you live in, right? It's like, in most places in the world, you can make a living doing something and live comfortably doing it, right? So, which brings up the next question, which I asked this fine young man that I was talking to, which is a very, very important question, is what is your end game? Because it's different for everyone. For some people, they're happy just to live a life that is simple, just to live out in the countryside with their farm and their animals and their kids and their wife and their husband, whatever, and they make a living. They come work 8 hours a day, come home and just spend time with the family, and they're totally content doing that. And they have their hobbies that they work on in the evening and the weekends, and they're totally happy doing that. Personally, I am envious of people like that. I wish I could just turn off my ambitious brain and just live a simple life where I could just be happy and content. But there's something in me personally that drives and thrives on doing things that are big and epic and world changing and life changing and impact people. And I always am chasing that ever growing dream of trying to fulfill what I feel is like my destiny, if I'm really honest. And I'm always trying to expand and create epic things and go big. And that's just me, right? And I'm not saying either one is right or wrong. Like I said, sometimes I'm envious when I see guys or dads who are like just simple, go to work and come home and play with the kids and that's it. It's like, sometimes I'm envious of that. But honestly, to me, at this point in my life, I'm not like that. And so my end goal is like, I want to liberate people from this world. I want to bring God's heart to people, God's love to people. I want to change people's behaviors in a way that allows them to experience the love of God. And I want them to receive the blessing and experience everything that I have in my life. And I want to give that opportunity to people, right? And I know that I can't do all of that while just living a comfortable life, because I feel like it's like God has placed something in my heart where I feel almost like a responsibility to do this with my life and with my time, right? So I'm saying this because everyone is different. So I was talking with this guy and he was like, well, I kind of just want to, make enough money so that we can be comfortable and I have enough time so I'm not working too hard that I can actually spend time with my wife and kids. And I looked at him, I was like, dude, you live in America. You speak English fluently. You're Japanese, right? To some people would understand that, but being Japanese is somewhat an advantage because my friend, I was like, you're Japanese. Like you will work harder than everyone else. And you don't have to worry about that. And I told him again, like worst case scenario, you can drive Uber and make a good living and live comfortably. Almost anywhere in America, you can live comfortably just doing that. Apart from living in one of the major cities in America, most places in America, you can live comfortably on $4,000 a month. Comfortably. You can live on $4,000 a month, right? Comfortably, my friends. My family was living in New Jersey and we were living comfortably on $4,000 a month. Comfortably. Like we didn't need anything else. So New Jersey, in other words, is like one of the most expensive places to live in America, and especially in that area we were living, which is Palisades Park, which is right across the bridge from New York, right? So my point is to this guy, I was like, what is your end goal? And just work backwards to that. So for me, so I asked him that because if your end goal is you want to do something that's of epic proportions and you want to change lives, you want to do something big, if you want to start a business that is life-changing, that means thinking in those terms and thinking backwards. So your next step needs to be in your life, in your career. What does it take to learn the skills that are required to do that? And that's how you have to be thinking, right? So for me, in my example, my epic life dream and end game is like, I want to convert people to God. I want to convert people to really understand the true nature of God and experience that every day in their life, so they naturally will change their behaviors because they understand how profoundly God and spirit world is impacting them. And I know that if I want to convert people in that way, there are many, many, many skills I need to learn along the way, right? I need to learn how to educate. I need to learn how to persuade. I need to learn how to market. I need to learn how to have video presence. I need to learn video editing. I need to learn how to market. I need to learn how to advertise. I need to learn how to sell people on ideas that are bigger than anything that they've thought of before. I need to learn how to change people's behaviors, right? I need to learn how to get people out of destructive, unwanted behaviors like addiction and into healthy behaviors. I need to learn how to convey things that are abstract like God and spirit world in a way that makes sense to people. And that's why I do this work, guys. That's why I love doing this podcast, because I know that every episode we make, it's like we're learning something new about how to do this end goal that I'm working towards, right? And mind you, I'm thinking in 50-year timeframes. I'm not thinking like 5 years from now, I'm going to blow up the world. No, I'm thinking 40, 50 years from now, we're going to have an ultra mega team, a passionate, convicted team that is working towards this end goal. And we're working together every day on that. So my time horizon is much, much longer than most people's, which is why I'm okay. Like I'm liberated mentally, and I have the peace of mind to know that I don't have to work like quickly. I can work hard, go home to my family, spend time with my family. And at the end of the day, I can say, hey, I learned something. I impacted somebody in one way. I learned something new about how I'm going to eventually do this thing, right? And so everything I'm doing now is a stepping stone to get there. Anyways, back to point number 3. What is your end game? All right. If you're okay with living a comfortable life and just making enough money, or let's say spending enough time to make enough money to be comfortable and maybe invest some, then let me tell you guys, that's not hard. It's not. And I'm saying this because I want to liberate you from the feeling of like, oh, I need to provide for my family, or I'm going to be homeless. I need to work X, Y, Z number of hours. I need to work harder. I need to, in quotation, go to college, and I need to get my master's because I won't be financially stable if I don't. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not that hard to make money. It is not. It's really, really not. Okay? And the reason I'm saying that is not to be trite or aggressive with you guys. I'm just saying that because I want to liberate you guys from the feeling of stress and anxiety that's surrounded by most people regarding finances, because it's not that difficult. And I promise you, I guarantee it, if you are willing to do work, you will make money and you will be happy. Okay? So anyways, I hope that's helpful for you guys. I'll reiterate those 3 points for you. Number 1, can you make $3,000 cash and save $3,000 cash? If you can do that, you are above most people in the United States, at least, and the world that can save money. All right, so there you go. Also, by the way, when I received the blessing, I fundraised every Friday for about 6 months or something, and I made $3,000 cash, like fundraising, like fundraising. There is no lower barrier. Barrier to entry than fundraising. You could literally just go buy stuff from the dollar store and then immediately go sell it, right? There's it's not that simple. It's not that complicated, all right? And number 2, think about the worst case scenario. What's your ultimate safety net? If it is like just driving Uber, that's not bad. Like honestly, that sounds pretty awesome, to be honest. Like just learning stuff, listening to stuff, meeting people, and driving around, right? Number 3 thing to think about is, what's your end game? What is your end game? What is the actual lifestyle that you want to create for yourself through finance? And think backwards from there. Because when you do that, I promise you, it's not that daunting and it's not going to overwhelm you. But it might seem overwhelming right now because of all the things that you've been told and all the social media, all the lies about money that we've been told, right? All this stuff. It's not that complicated. Anyways, I hope this is liberating and helpful for some of you guys. Lots of love from me to you. See ya.